This is Sheila, otherwise known as Naja Post on Twitter. You follow me at Naja Post on Twitter. Something that's been weighing kind of heavy on my mind this week has been the issue with Ferguson. It's disturbing not only because of the young man who was killed, young men who were killed, but it disturbs me at a greater level because it's not just Ferguson that's having this problem. We are having a epidemic of police brutality that has gone beyond anything that I would have ever imagined in my 45 years of life. I've been trying to come up with a solution for these atrocities, and the only thing I can think of may be to, for all the good it'll do, pass laws again that makes it more for accountability for police officers. But laws are only as good as those who put them on and enforce them. We had an incident here in Denver where a police officer blatantly walked up and punched a prisoner, and it was just put on the news this morning that they were not going to hand him any charges. And in this video, police video, it showed this man had to walk across the room in order to punch the guy that was handcuffed. But they said there was no, how did they put it? Anyway, they said that there was no visible or no actual intent to use force or whatever, however they used it. It was just complete utter bullshit. And I got to thinking, what in the hell's going on with these people? If you can't see from a video, I don't care what the man called him. I don't care what the man did. He was clear across the room. That officer could have had the option to just sit there and keep his mouth shut and don't worry about it. Let the other guy talk. Would have been no big deal. But he chose, as a police officer, not as a human being, but as a police officer, to walk over to that man and punch him and knock his ass down. We, as a society, need to stop condoning this. And by condoning, I don't mean walking up to him and say, "Hey, good job, buddy. That's a good thing." No. We need to stop letting them get away with it. Start putting our foot down, because with our silence, we're condoning this actions. With our inability to speak on these problems, we're just setting ourselves up for a really big problem. As far as Ferguson goes, it goes beyond race. Unfortunately, we do have a very major, oh my God, problem with racism in this country. America, I don't know what's wrong with you. I really don't. I love you, America, but you got some pretty fucked up ideas. And it's not just whites against blacks and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Chinese. It's whites and blacks and all these other races that just cannot figure out how to get along. I mean, you see a lot of black on white crime. You see a lot of white on white crime. You see a lot of black on black crime, and that's got to stop, guys. I'm sorry, as a white woman, you guys got to stop. You're screwing them yourselves really seriously bad. Whenever I, as a white woman, look at the television and all I see is black people shooting, killing, beating each other up, it hurts me in my heart because I don't know what to do about it. I want to help you guys. I really, really do. But I gotta start in my own house. My own house. My children are not racist. My children don't have any black friends, not because they're racist, but because there's no black kids around here. We live in a society right now. My neighborhood is a perfect example of what's wrong with America. I swear to God it is. Because we sit in our apartments and we don't do nothing with nobody in our apartment built area. We don't have block parties. We don't have yard sales because the apartment complex won't allow it. The only time we see our neighbors is either in the parking lot as we're taking our dogs out, or at the mall, or at the pool. We don't go to the pool that often. But whenever we do go, our entire pool is filled with black kids and Hispanic kids, and my kids get along great with them. They love their friends. If we can all start thinking about how our children interact with each other. If you have children of any color and they interact at school or at home or wherever with a child of another color, you can look at that interaction and you can see their parents' views in their actions. Take for instance, we had an incident a couple of weeks ago where one of my youngest son was at the pool with me, and a little Hispanic kid come up and he put his arm behind his back like he was really hurting him, and I got onto him, the other little kid, and his mother looked over at me and she said something in Spanish, and I said, can you talk to me in English, please, because I can't understand you. And she's like, well, why did you yell at my son? And I'm like, well, he did something wrong. She's like, no, you just racist. You don't like my kid because he's Mexican. I'm like, that doesn't have nothing to do with it. Your kid was hurting my kid. It's no brainer. If we can stop putting race into everything that we as a society do, we'd be a lot better off. If we can stop looking at other people of other colors as the enemy, we're not enemies. We're really not. I love people of color. I love white people. I love everybody except the president. He's just a pain in the butt. Politicians, I'm sorry. The main problem that I see in America today is racist cops. And I'm sorry, they are everywhere. You get them boys in that uniform with those weapons and that militarized attitude, you're done. They have no sense. They are trained to use as much force as is humanly possible to arrest the perpetrator so they don't get hurt. It's all about them. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, and I've been arrested a few times, trust me. Been maced too. Shit sucks. But the way I see it is, if we start doing a lot more, what they call it, a lot more training the police officers to be kinder to us as citizens, as human beings, then maybe they'd be a little less apt to shoot us in the back whenever we're running, or shoot us in the head when we're standing there with our hands up. Hands up. Don't shoot. They don't think that. Take, for instance, the second murder that happened, and I am calling these murders. The second murder that happened, that little apparently mentally disabled young man, black man. He was obviously having a problem. It looked like he was wanting the police to kill him. In fact, he even said, "Kill me." Kill, with his hands up. Of course, he had a weapon in his hand. It was a butter knife or pocket knife or something. But they get out of their car and they shoot this man. They tell him a couple of times, put her down, stop back off, whatever they said. But they didn't have to shoot that man that many times. I mean, it was like they was wanting to kill him. And unfortunately, that's a lot of the problem with the police officers nowadays. They want to kill. That's what they're there for. That's their mentality, people. They don't care whether you're guilty or not. Courts are full. It's going to take you 2 years to get a damn court date. Unless you know somebody. And whenever you do get in there, 90% of the time, they're going to railroad your ass. You're going to run right through there like, you know, it takes 15 minutes for somebody to go into the courtroom, say they're guilty or not guilty, and have the judge give them a sentence. That's the way it runs. Trust me, been there, done that. I think the longest trial that I had was 20 minutes. And that was whenever I pled guilty. But we got to come together as citizens and figure out how we can get over the hump of racism. Police brutality is just a symptom. It's okay, baby. Sorry, my dog's getting a little antsy here. She hears somebody else's puppies. Say hi. Hi. Hi, guys. Hi. She sees the maintenance man. That's what she's kind of complaining about. But if we can just, to wrap this up, if we can just learn to love one another, regardless of race, and regardless of how poor we are, we all in this together, man. We are all in this together. We all bleed the same. We all got the same problems, just a little more of it with people who are discriminated against. I wish you guys peace and love and happiness, and I will see you on the Twitterverse. Bye. Remember, follow me. Naja Post. Bye.